So we really only have two rather short items. So we only need probably about 20 minutes of your time. But I want to take you through, I have a couple of slides here. But the important people here today are really Becca and Diane, who are going to share a really wonderful vision for text-dependent analysis. And they've got this two-year plan. It's pretty exciting. The only slide I have right here is that they do have this plan, and I think that's really what they want to talk about with you today. So Becca and Diane, it is yours.
Good morning,
Good
everyone.
morning.
Diane and I have been working on creating some highly requested trainings around TDA, and we have partnered with Jerry Thompson and have created a two-year plan on text-dependent analysis. And we have an email ready to go out to the IU curriculum coordinators to ask them for names and email addresses of ELA content leads within their IU that would participate in this first year, which all the training will be free for the IUs. And we would like to train them and work with them and then work on a plan to disseminate that information during the second year of the training.
And this is a continuation. On 2014-2015, Jerry Thompson did work across the state with IU content leaders for ELA, presenting her initial findings regarding text-dependent analysis. And this training will include a much more in-depth training, including all of Jerry's research from the past 6 years.
Yes, and Jerry's still working on learning progressions that go along with TDA, and that is part of our plan that she's still working with a group of teachers to really finalize the learning progressions, and then that would be part of year 2, would be working with the IU consultants with the learning progressions.
So it's a 2-year plan that will be able to work with our ELA leads for 2017-18 as well as 2018-19, as the learning progressions will run simultaneously during the first year, and we'll be able to then formally share that with the field during the second year. So we're pretty excited about that, and we just wanted to make sure that you were aware of that before we talk with the curriculum coordinators.
I have a quick question for you. This sounds really exciting. Could you give us maybe a little bit of a definition when you talk about learning progressions? How would you define that?
Well, the learning progression work was something that did come out of Jerry's research working with our teachers last year when Jerry was actually in the schools and in the classrooms with the teachers. And she came to the realization, as well as the teachers, that they needed smaller, more discrete steps in using text-dependent analysis responses to address the learning needs of the students. So what it has done, it has taken that text-dependent analysis response from teachers and broken it down into small, discrete steps to help teachers plan their instruction around text-dependent analysis.
So would it look like a grade by grade, you know, how we grow, or is it just taking the whole of the TDA concept and breaking that into tinier pieces?
That's a good question, Jean. And what Jerry has found is that she's able to use grade spans.
Okay.
Because we know that so much of text-dependent analysis, the actual skills themselves do overlap over the grades.
Yes.
It is so much dependent on the level of the text. And so the learning progressions are grade spans.
Yeah. Okay. What we've heard from people in the field is that that's where they're stuck right now. How do I teach, or what do I teach to prepare the students for the text-dependent analysis? And so that's how the learning progressions came about. And hopefully this is what's going to help with the instruction in the classroom.
And it feeds right into formative assessment, which we know is a focus for our teachers to be able to chart progress.
Yeah. You know, as you're talking about this, of course, this is new for me. Beck and I chatted about this a little bit earlier, but I'm hoping that we can think about what we can utilize in SAS to promote this. So, you know, we have that set of learning progressions K-12, which is written in like 1-point font that is barely readable. But, you know, wouldn't it be cool if we could put these TDA writing progressions into SAS and really give TDA a prominent presence in the SAS site, because it's such a critical part of what we do in English language arts. So as you're working along the way with this, you know, keep me in the loop, because I think it's great work. I could almost see a tile in SAS that you could go to. You could see the learning progressions. You might be able to access some videos, some PowerPoints, you know, a whole, I don't want to say training, but a whole sort of a component of all the pieces and what it looks like. So I'm going to ask them maybe this question. I'm assuming that there will be a statement of work then for our IU folk, such as we have with other pieces of work that they've done, be it SAS, PVAS, or whatever. Is that accurate?
Yes, that is true. For the 18-19, so for the second year, we are working on a statement of work with the IUs so that the IUs can engage in the training with all of their member districts. So that is one thing that we have gotten approval to move forward with, working on the statement of work for the second year when the IUs will go out and work with the districts.
So again,
Can I ask a question?
Sure, Roseanne.
So I don't know, Becca. So I'm from IU3. We currently offer a lot of training in TDA. And I was just looking at what's coming out of the Reading Achievement Center. There's a 4-session series on TDA for teachers in grades 4 through 7. But my question is, would any of this preclude our continuing to offer the TDA work that we currently
It doesn't
offer?
at all. And in fact, Roseanne, we're very familiar with the great work that comes out of IU3 regarding text-dependent analysis. And what this will do is enhance that work. When we first started in 14-15 with bringing in the IUs with the work that Jerry was doing, we almost look at that as that was an introduction of the research, and IUs such as IU3 have definitely enhanced that work as they've learned more about it. And so this is an opportunity for your consultants, your ELA leads to be able to understand and participate as Jerry shares even her deeper findings regarding text-dependent now. So absolutely, it does not preclude any of that excellent work that you're doing. And in fact, we're really excited because we've just worked with IU3 recently, and we're so excited to be able to share with them that we now have this available, because we were talking about that. What has happened since that initial training in 2015. So I think that your trainers are going to be really excited that we can finally say, yes, we do have something to offer you now.
Right, because this is another level to build on that which was started, and to continue building on it and layer on top of it.
Okay, so just to clarify, so that this training year will occur next year, which we're going to call year 1, and then year 2, we will be providing a statement of work to support the IU folk going out and doing the training. Right. So in that year 2, it would not be a fee for service for IU, because we would be providing funding for folks to do that training. And then who knows, whatever happens after that will be to be determined. Because we always talk with our IUs of what is the training that we support financially as a department versus their fee for service. Right. Okay. So with that, is that accurate then, Becca and Diane?
Yeah, that's what we were thinking along those lines.
Okay. Okay. Questions? Anything else, Roseanne?
It's Donna Gaffney. I do have a question. So the training that our staff will be receiving, it will be looked at then as a turnaround training. They would be carrying out something that they've been provided and have already participated in themselves. Is that accurate?
And hi Donna, this is Diane. We're looking at a cadre of experts this time, rather than just simply tagging it as a turnaround training. We're looking to build that expertise with a cadre of experts, and that comes from Jerry working directly with some of your IU folk, that is something that we think will enhance that training. So yes, it is turnaround, if we can use that term, but I think that what Jerry has come to the conclusion from speaking with IU consultants directly, because as you know, she's done work on her own with the IUs throughout the years. And what she is doing is building a cadre of experts so that those cadre of experts can rely on each other also. So yeah, absolutely. It is something that you will be able to use and turn around with your regional communities and schools.
That's great because, I think I'm not speaking for Roseanne, but I think where she was going with this was, will we be able to distinguish between this specific professional development as a year 2 deliverable versus all the other literacy training that we're doing? And if you're saying yes, then I that answers my question.
Okay. Sure.
Thank you.
Becca and Diane, just again, we'll sort of do a bit of a conclusion here, but I do have, in terms of days of training for IU folk, and I know you're just in the development stage, just give us a sense of what we're looking at.
So for the first year, we're thinking that the training would include 6 days throughout the year in 2-day increments. And we're looking at having an east and a west. So it would probably be Harrisburg and Pittsburgh. And then Jerry also wants to spend time with the IU people in just the whole planning of how will we roll this out? How will they get it to the members of the districts? So that's our thinking right now. And then the year 2, when the IUs are working with districts, Jerry will be supporting them, and they will also receive some days, we're not sure how many in that year 2, but the year 2 days, they will get PD on the learning progressions. So they'll get another level of this after the first year. It's two years of PD, and then in the second year, they're turning around working with the districts on the first year PD, and then, like you said, Jean, after that, we're not sure where it's going to lead yet.
Okay.
So the second year, Jerry's going to be supporting the ELA consultants so that it's building that cadre of experts that I had spoken about. That's the key piece, is that it's not just, here's the training, go forth and provide it. In that whole second year, Jerry is going to be there as a support and to provide additional training as needed as the IU leads push that out.
Okay, it really sounds exciting. Of course,
Yeah.
I'm ELA by nature, so I'm loving it. And I think as we think about the different kinds of writing that our children do in the classroom and in real life, the TDA just hits the mark.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
today.
thank you so much. We appreciate it.
I think we do these monthly webinars, and I think maybe you'll be able to join us as you move forward and give us a progress check. That would be wonderful.
Absolutely.
That would be great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so you all are welcome to go back to your exciting whatever it is you're doing with assessment today.
Yeah.
And I have a few more slides to share. So again,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. For the rest of you, I have just a few little items here regarding the SAS Institute. I think most of you probably know this, but we are bringing George Couros in. I'm sure most of you have read The Innovator's Mindset, and of course you can see the title there is much longer, but just want to give you the lay of the land here. We will have our keynote. We'll have Secretary Rivera there the Sunday night, the Monday, the Tuesday with the traditional breakouts. We're hoping to do a half-day session on Wednesday to bring in folks who are interested in going more deeply into personalized learning. And we're going to have our personalized learning grantees. We have 6 schools that were awarded money this past year and are doing pretty incredible things. So they're going to do some sort of in-depth work to share what they're doing and their progress along the way. So my ask really is that I'm looking for presenters right now, okay? And you can see there that I sort of segued out based on the work of Couros on presentations that focus, 1, on classroom innovation, you're all good readers. I'm not going to read that to you, but I found that in the broad brush, the presentations that have been done by our intermediate units have just really been superior and have really gotten rave reviews. And sometimes it's an IU working with a school or a school district or a group of folks from various schools. So I'd like you to start thinking about what is some of the good work that we're doing in our IU that might fit this classroom innovation. Okay, and I have a little bit of a quote there from Koros where what's looking different today. The second one that we're looking at is leadership innovation. And so what are our principal leaders and our assistant soup and our superintendent leaders, what are those folks doing that are moving us toward changes, innovations that are impacting our students in a positive way? And then last but not least is a third category, technology innovation. And this, to some degree, technology is integrated into what we do, but I did a call out for it because I know there are some schools using some incredible learning management systems and different ways of integrating technology that do present, whether it's in a personalized learning environment, a hybrid learning, or whatever. And again, I know there's just some great work that you're doing in your IU with your school districts. And I would ask that you really give it strong consideration. We've gotten maybe a couple of dozen nominations at this point, but I'm really looking for some solid presenters who can help to move us forward in one or more of those categories, because they certainly do overlap. So technology, you can see what Koros says, it's not the technology, it's what you do with it that really makes the difference for our children. And so this is the link to the Google Doc to submit a presentation. I'm aware that you cannot copy this down, but at the end of this webinar, I'm going to send that link to you. Please, please, please share it with your staff. Share it with your schools. If you know something cool is going on in one or more of your IU schools. Again, I think one of the reasons our institute was so well received last year and got such really super duper reviews is the fact that, IUs were either able to come and do presentations or to point us to people who are really doing good work and were worthy of our presentations, because we had probably 150 presentations that were submitted, and we selected what we thought were the best of the best. Not due to August 31st. I know this is sort of not a great time of year to get in contact with people. On the other hand, it's a bit of a slower time before we start gearing up for the start of the school year. So I really appreciate if you do your best to kind of just share out presentations. Any questions or comments on this?
Jean, can you remind me of the format of the sessions? 1 hour, 2 hour, half day, full day? What's the format?
Yeah, they're generally 75-minute sessions on Monday and Tuesday. And if we find someone who for personalized learning on that Wednesday, they're probably going to be a little bit longer, maybe 2 hour, because that is what are you doing and how did you do it, and a little bit more of the journey rather than just a snapshot. So approximately 75 minutes. We are doing an Act 45 on Sunday afternoon. George Koros is going to kick that off. I've not heard him. I'm actually going to hear him in August. He's going to be in I think Garnet Valley School District, which is outside of Philadelphia. But everyone I talked to said he's incredibly compelling, makes perfect sense in terms of the work we need to do, and is very engaging. So he costs a lot of money, so I'm hoping he's as good as what we're paying, but hopefully so. That 45 will start Sunday afternoon, and then we'll do virtual for the rest of the time. But it's all good. So that's really all I had to share with today. Any other questions or comments?
Just a question, and I know you can't really comment, but the Senate bill that's Dinniman has sponsored at 756, do you have just sort of like the latest in terms of where it stands regarding the assessment piece?
Yeah, as you know, he's vigilant in his quest to, probably for him, eliminate assessments. That's a hard call, and if I knew something, I'd certainly tell you, but we're all watching it carefully. That's really the best I can say. Where we'll land is, I think we're fairly confident that our project-based assessments will go away. Although, quite frankly, Tuesday of next week, we'll be evaluating, probably have about over 500 PBAs that are being evaluated for students in the class of 2019, because schools chose to move forward. Because at this point, nothing's changed in the legislation. But I think Matt Stem's pretty confident that project-based assessment will be set aside. Where we'll go with the other options, it's hard to tell. For me, one of the disturbing parts is that I'll call it the opt-out, because he really wants to broaden that opt-out. And it's sort of the carrot and the stick when you have students out there taking assessments for which there is no stake in the game, if you will. I'm not sure what that does for our teachers in our evaluation system. If we're looking at performance and we have a large percentage doing that opt-out. So don't know. That's my just wondering, quite frankly. Okay. That's really it for today. You know who I am. You know where I am. I actually included Becca's email address here. If you wanted to shoot her an email, if you have further questions or comments regarding the good work they're going to do with TDAs. Okay.
And Jean, I'm not familiar with Becca, so what is her role in the department?
Becca is in assessment division, and I'm sorry, I didn't realize y'all didn't know her.
Everybody else might know her, I just didn't know her.
Probably not. There were always two people in the assessment ELA side, a reading and a writing person, and it was always Diane on the reading side, and Carrie Helm was there on the writing side for a while. Carrie moved into a different position. So Becca has come on in that role of the writing side of the assessment, although she and Diane work beautifully in harmony. And, that's what she's doing. Background-wise, she comes from a really, really fine school district, Hempfield, in the Lancaster County area. She's got about 30 years of experience, teacher, reading specialist. She has her doctorate. I'm not sure what she worked on, but great young lady, lots of excitement, and really wanting to move the needle, particularly on the TDA process. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. So it's a beautiful day, my friends, at least here in central Pennsylvania. Enjoy. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jean.
Thanks, Jean. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.